Hey everyone, I kind of want to do an on-the-fly 1 month review of the Panasonic DP-UB450P/K. Um, I originally had the UP150P-K, and as far as I can tell, everything I've read, everything I've looked over, these are in essence the same player, except for the 450 has Dolby Vision and the 150 does not. The 450 was available overseas for, I guess, the last few years or something like that, for a certain amount of time. And the 450, it seems like, came around to the United States around like June, something like that. Earlier this year, it might have even been earlier than that, maybe February or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I don't see too many people talking about this, specifically in like the Blu-ray Facebook groups that I'm in. Most people, when somebody goes on there and they go, hey, I'm starting to collect movies again, I want to get a Blu-ray player with Dolby Vision, blah blah blah, I'm not too sure which one to get. Should I get a Sony? Should I get a Panasonic? Those are kind of the two main contenders out there. I think LG has one too. Most people say the Panasonic 820. So that's what I was looking at originally for my upgrade from the 150, and then I caught wind of, hey, Amazon has the 450 now. So I started looking into them, and the 820, I got a little bit turned off, to be honest, from a lot of the reviews from people who have had the 820 for a while. Now, I'm guessing all these in the 820 probably have a very similar laser in them or the same laser. Basically, what I read with people who have had the 820 for, 6 months to a year, a little bit more than a year, they say that they start having problems with it reading discs. And after a while, the laser just keeps going out and going out and going out more and more until it can, it barely works. So you spend like 400 something bucks on one of those players, and if it's only going to last me like a year, potentially, I'm not too big of a fan of that. So anyways, getting back to things, again, this is on the fly video. I'm not a regular YouTube reviewer. I'm not reading off a paper or anything. But I was looking between the 450 and the 820. I'm like, well, the 450, it was on sale on Amazon. I think it was $159. And then the 820 is like 400 bucks. And the one thing, when I kept looking through forums and people talking and Reddit and stuff like that, people were saying, hey, go with the 820 because the 450 either doesn't have or doesn't do it very good with the DVD and Blu-ray upconverts to 4K. So supposedly this has a weaker chip in it, weaker processor for the upscaling. Some people said it just doesn't have the upscaling at all, which I don't really believe because, the signal, comes out of 4K when you put in a DVD or a Blu-ray. I think it's doing something. But I also know that my Pioneer Elite receiver, I don't know about DVDs, but I do know in the specs that supposedly it upconverts 1080p Blu-rays to 4K. And we're going to go over all these movies that I've watched, some music CDs and stuff, even a USB drive that I plugged into this. As far as the regular Blu-rays go, I think they look just fine. I'm not too sure if this is doing the upconverting, if it's a combination. I'm no expert in this stuff. Or maybe even my TCL TV is doing some upconverting here. But it looks fine to me with regular Blu-rays and even DVDs. There's a couple of DVDs in here that I watched as well. So I guess a big part of this is playability. I've been trying to watch at least a movie a night on this thing, mixing up between, Dolby Vision movies, ones with, I can't remember which one I watched with HDR. I don't think it's one of them in here. I tried to pull everything, but I can't remember which one it was. I do know that Total Recall had Dolby Vision. That worked just fine. Whenever I pop these things into the player, I could see up in the corner when it's doing like DTS, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision HDR, blah, blah, blah. I can see, what the signal's coming out. Same goes for the Pioneer Elite receiver. I'm able to see, where is that remote? Here it is. I'm able to see when it's playing a source what it's playing. So the last thing, or I guess what it's on right now, is Dolby Surround. But But anyways, let's get into this a little bit. As far as playability, watching movies, I've been watching movies without a hitch. I haven't had any movie stutter. I've had none just stop. I've had no issues with that. I've heard people talking about with like Sony players with like 3 or 4 layer Ultra HD DVD. I don't know which Blu-rays are those multiple layer ones, so I don't even know if I tested one. Maybe I did. Maybe this is one. This was the first movie I watched on here, and it had Dolby Vision and it worked just fine. So if I'm going to open this, we're not going to watch these movies because I don't want my video getting taken down. But putting them in here, when it first comes up, back up here quite a bit. I should turn that light off way up there. I'm just going to stand up and go back here. So this is one thing I noticed. It does take a little bit, to pull it up, but you can see Dolby Vision, looks great, And then if I go to here, I got Dolby Surround right now in the United States. So again, you notice it does take a little bit for the disc to start up. We're gonna take a walk over through the arcade. Yeah, it's Halloween time. Yeah, I had some skeletons in here. They're outside now. But we're gonna... I just put this up here today because this arcade is very dimly lit. Oh, crap. We'll fix that later. It's up there on some screws, but we'll turn that off so we can see the screen a little bit better. I might have missed when it went to Dolby Atmos. Might not even do it until you get into the movie. As you can see, it takes a little bit to get into the movies. They work just fine. There's your Dolby Vision again. I don't think it's until you start playing it that, I think you'll probably see it again. There's your Dolby Atmos. Oh, stupid camera. It said Dolby Atmos up there. I don't even think you could really see it. If I go down here and I go like that, we got Dolby Atmos. So you can see, plays Dolby Atmos, 4K Ultra HD movies just fine. We're not going to go through every single movie here, popping them in and out, but we'll at least do one of each of the formats, I guess, that I have here. So again, I watched that whole movie. It was just fine. Watched Pineapple Express just recently. That was just fine. It has Dolby Atmos sound, but it doesn't have Dolby Vision. I watched the Friday the 13th Killer Cut off of this one. That's regular Blu-ray. Been digging into, I got the Puppet Master box set, so I've been digging into those. So I watched number 1, number 2. It was either number 3 or 4 that I seen in some of the reviews. One of these two or both of them. A lot of people had issues where their Blu-ray players wouldn't play those movies. I watched both of these just fine. Again, it was 3 or 4, both of them, but they're kind of known for having issues within the set. They played fine for me on this player. Actually, I didn't watch this one yet. That's for tonight. Watched Dark City on Blu-ray. Watched Anchorman, and if you ever pick up Anchorman, make sure you get the rich mahogany edition. Comes with an additional movie here, which is basically outtakes from the original movie, and they made like a separate movie. It kind of goes like the scenes kind of go with the first movie, but it's like a whole new movie. It's all new jokes, everything. It's not as good as the original movie, but it's pretty neat to see what they did with that additional footage to make, almost like a second movie. Out of these 3, this pack, I watched The Goonies. That disc was a little bit scratched up, had no issues with it. Most of these are new, so haven't had any problems. Nightmare on Elm Street, regular Blu-ray, watched the first one recently. So here's where we get into some of the different stuff. So I watched Soul Survivors. movie sucks. Don't watch it if you've never seen it. It's one of those, I know what you did last summer. It was around that time, Urban Legends, blah, blah, blah. So what was unique about watching this one is this is an old one. I know it looks legit, but it's a copy. It's a DVR. So I did watch that full movie with the DVR. No issues with it. Regular DVD, I watched Encino Man. One of my favorites from being a kid, 90s kid. So then, oh, by the way, I got to brag about this. Got this for $3.99, the Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit. This was actually recalled. I think it was released in like 2001, 2002, something like that. It was recalled because Red Cross was mad about this, using their logo basically on, slasher movies here. So they did re-release this after they recalled it, after it was out in stores for a very limited amount of time, without this on it. So again, I got it for $4. This thing goes, the cheapest I saw it was like $70. On Amazon, it's like $275 for a new set. It's pretty crazy. But I watched the first one of this actually yesterday. If you've never seen this movie, it's pretty bad. It's going to rip off of Friday the 13th. The ending's a shocker, man. It still kind of got me. It's kind of, even in this day and age, it's pretty crazy. So going on music CDs, I played the Soundgarden CD. On this, listen to the full thing. I don't think it has any scratches on it. It's pretty clean. That played real good. So this is a unique one. This Catatonia album has a second disc, which is a DVD with 5.1 surround sound, high resolution, 24-bit stereo sound. I listened to most of this album on this, I think up to like song 8, 7, 8, something like that. Sounded pretty damn good. Didn't have any issues with it. Played pretty good. So that was a little bit different. I didn't even realize I had that DVD with this. I'm going to need to go through my CD collection. I got like 400, 500 CDs, see if there's any other ones where it has a DVD with that, because that was actually pretty cool. Now, this one was a real test. This, oh man, you're not going to be able to really see it here. Maybe if we walk into the kitchen, that don't mind this tile in here. I need to retile it. This CD has a crack right there. Doesn't go, oh, there we go. Now you can see it. So this has been resurfaced, but look at the scratches on this thing. You're not even seeing the full scope of it. This, oh, now you are. This thing is awful. CD is awful. It played all the way through on that Blu-ray, on the 450 Blu-ray player, no problem. Didn't even skip once. I was surprised. That was a real test, from my opinion, for the laser, even though it's just CD, it's not a movie. In fact, we can even put it in. And while that's actually loading up, as far as playability, since we're on the playability stuff, there also is a USB port in the front of this, which is very common on Blu-ray players. It's been common for a long time, where you can plug in like your own, USB drive with your own movies, from your computer or whatever on it. And it will play, from what I have tested, it will play 1080p and even some 4K files. But whenever I get a 4K movie file that has Dolby Atmos on it, it does not play it for me. I think I've tried 2 of those. So the 4K Dolby Atmos files from a USB, I had no luck with them. 1080p movies look just fine. Regular 4K movies that don't have Dolby Atmos play just fine. The only ones I haven't tried, because I don't think I have any video files with this, is a 4K with HDR. So I haven't tried any HDR through this. I'd imagine that would probably play, but don't hold me to it. But Dolby Atmos, or Dolby Vision, did not work through this. Playing it through that. So it tries to play the movie, it loads up the whole thing, and then when it gets to the end, the screen goes blank, and nothing happens. So this was that audio CD. By the way, between the 150, I know I got stacks of movies on it. between the 150 and this one, again, everything is pretty much the same on this except for that Dolby Vision on the 450 here. This whole thing looks exactly the same as a 150. If you were to scratch this off and somehow, you know, neatly paint 150 on it, you wouldn't know the difference. It's the exact same thing, except for the Dolby Vision, and it also has a second HDMI out for audio. I forgot about that the 150 doesn't have. I had something else in my mind. I can't remember what it was, but all right. Oh, I was gonna say the UI and everything, the loading screen, the UI, the whole UI, everything is exactly the same as a 150 on the 450. So, and if anybody watching this, it's been, you know, with these still collecting Blu-rays and stuff and experience with these newer Blu-ray players, you know as well as I do that they have no incentive to basically upgrade this stuff. I've even heard that the processors in some of our like Samsung freaking stoves have more power than what's in these or something like that. I don't know. I'm rambling. So you can't hear the sound right now. I actually have it muted, which is probably a good idea because I don't want this video getting taken down from YouTube. But you can see this is that super scratched up inflamed CD that I put in there. And you can see it's not skipping, at least on the timer. Again, I don't want you to really hear it because I don't want to get this taken down. Skip through a few here. Plays fine. So again, after a month, man, I love this thing. I have no problems with it. As of right now, I have no regrets that I did not buy the 820. I feel like either I just am not that picky with the upconvert stuff, or my Pioneer receiver's doing some upconverting, or my TV's doing some upconverting and making things look better. But everything looks fine to me as far as DVDs and stuff. I think it looks great. I mean, yeah, they don't look like a 4K Blu-ray, but I'd almost go say that this would look like a Blu-ray on a 1080p TV to me when I watch it on my 4K QLED. I don't think I would go as far as saying the regular Blu-rays look like a 4K Blu-ray, but they look pretty damn good. Probably pretty damn close. In fact, I don't, especially with the cost, and again, I'm rambling, I don't really care, this is a one-off video, and I'm making no money off this crap anyway, so you can listen to me ramble all I feel like making you want to listen. But, shit, what was I going to say? I don't even really see the reason to keep buying these for like $20 a pop. Like, yeah, I got this for $10, I got that for $10. When I see these 4Ks for $10 or less, or $15 or less, it's a movie I really like, I'll buy it, but aside from that, man, regular Blu-rays are just fine for me. They look great. So, the remotes are the same from the 150. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't forget anything else. The remote does suck on this. I don't know if the 820 has the same crappy remote as this, but the most important buttons down here are real tiny, and I don't even know what these are. They're garbage, and I don't know why you need any of this. I have no idea, but you could have got rid of all this probably. Why is the open and close here? Like, I don't know, put up the, I don't know. But this is the main issue. Anytime I want to press play or fast forward or something, and especially when I'm here in my, my arcade and it's kind of dark at night, I turn off these up here, these LEDs and stuff. I have to really look real close sometimes, because I'm older now, I'm 40. And I have to look real close to like just see what I'm pressing there, and it's kind of annoying. But again, $150, this thing plays Dolby Vision, HDR10, Dolby Atmos, sound. It plays your 4K HDR. It plays everything I need it to. Again, the only real main difference I saw between the 820 is the chassis on the actual unit looks better. It has an actual LED light counter on the front, which would be really nice, but I'm not paying hundreds of dollars more for that. And supposedly the 820 has the upconvert. So again, I hope this kind of helps people out. If anybody else is kind of going, well, should I get a 150? Should I get a 420? Should I get an 820? Like, get a 150 if you don't have a TV or whatever that has Dolby Atmos or or Dolby Vision, I mean. You know, unless you want to future-proof, you plan on upgrading your TV at some point. 150 is just fine. I didn't get rid of it. I didn't sell it. I just put it up in my upstairs TV. I have a Samsung regular 4K. Samsung has something against Dolby or some issue with Dolby where they don't have Dolby Vision even in those TVs, so I don't really need it. So the 150 is perfect up there. But again, no real complaints. Didn't expect this video to be 20 minutes, but I warned you all that I have no agenda for this video. It's just, I want to just let people know, the 450, from my experience, might be the player for you. And it's kind of a budget player, so that is it.